Good morning, families. Mr. Hutchinson here with a social studies update. I know it's early, it's Thursday today, hence the tie, but I wanted to get a little note out to you because remember, I'm not going to be here tomorrow, typical day, because I'll be in Chapel Hill with my daughter's graduation. So I wanted to give a little bit about what we have done this week and what we're planning to do next week as we start this unit on decline. So as you can see on this slide, which is putting us right here, we have finished the social studies end of unit check. Almost everybody. I have a couple people who are absent and they need maybe one more day, but almost everybody else is finished. I've started grading them, and the first class I looked at last night while I was grading them actually turned out really well. I think that most students were doing pretty well on that, so I'll continue grading that as I have free time this weekend, which I will have not very much of, but I'll do my best to get those back to you as soon as we can and check in with your student on how they did on the end of unit check for social structures. We are beginning our unit on the decline of civilization, and we've started that a little bit with our vocabulary pre-assessment, which kids were doing yesterday a little bit. We're going to continue with causes of decline. So we're talking about geographic causes for decline, which are natural disasters like earthquakes and volcanoes and severe weather. We talked a little bit about economic disasters. So we're talking about inflation a little bit. We're talking about high taxes. We're talking about unemployment or mass migration or those kinds of things that economically can cause civilizations to fall. Today we're going to talk a little bit more about political factors for decline. So that means, bad leadership or illegal things happening in the government, those kinds of things happening that cause political problems. And then we're going to talk a little bit about the Aztec, the Maya, and the Inca people, the groups that we kind of sometimes forget to talk a little bit about, or we don't talk as much as maybe we should talk about. We're going to talk about the fall of those civilizations in the Americas. And then tomorrow, students are going to learn a little bit more about the Mongol Empire and one of their great leaders, Genghis Khan. And that will be an assignment that they're doing while I am out. So there'll be a little textbook assignment that they'll be working on, reading about the Mongols, understanding the Mongols, which again, a group that they probably don't know very much about, and so they'll do a little assignment with that. That will be a graded assignment. And then, there will be a graded assignment that comes next week. I'm sorry. So speaking of next week, here's what's going to kind of happen. So the assignment that they're doing in the textbook on Friday leads us to a life ball challenge, which is our basketball challenge game that we play, where we ask questions from the reading that they did and the notes that they took. And if they get the question right, they get to shoot a basket. I've got a Nerf basketball in the front of the classroom, and they can shoot. And it's kind of a challenge game, kind of a review challenge game that is a lot of fun. The graded questions will come after that, and that will help us kind of understand that they understand what's going on with the rise and fall of the Mongol civilization. And then we end with the fall of Rome, so one of the more kind of classic civilization collapses. And so we'll talk about Rome. We've got slides that we'll do that'll kind of give us some background knowledge, some activities and videos that we'll watch through that. And then there is a activity where they'll read about 8 reasons why Rome fell. That has a graded assignment, and then we get into the end of unit check. Now, as always, this week might not happen as it looks on the screen there. Everything might get pushed a day or so back, just depending on how fast we get through things. But the decline of end of unit check is coming. It will probably be Friday the 15th or maybe Monday the week after that, because this is a short unit. The decline unit is short, so we can get into our final unit, which is on the Middle Ages. So that's what's happening this week. What is going to happen next week? Hopefully you've had a good week. They're getting a little bit of rain today, which is going to be nice. And if you are one of those mothers, happy Mother's Day on Sunday. We'll talk to you soon. Have a good weekend.